All right, today we're going to be covering lesson 20-1 on radical expressions. We will be breaking this lesson into 6 sections. We will cover questions 1 to 2, example A. Then we will cover question 3, example B. Follow that up with 6 and 7 and example C. Let's take a look. We're being asked to write and simplify radical expressions and understand what is meant by a rational exponent. The frame of a box kite has 4 legs of equal length and 4 pairs of crossbars, all of equal length. The legs of the kites form a square base. The crossbars are attached to the legs so that each crossbar is positioned as a diagonal of the square base. Label the legs of the kite pictured to the right. How many legs are in a kite? And how many crossbars? So let's label our legs. These 4 pieces right here are our legs. This is the leg, that's a leg, that's a leg, and then lastly, that's a leg. It says, how many legs are there? There are 4 legs. It says, how many crossbars are there? Now, crossbars, they said those were the diagonals of the square bases. Here's a square base. These are my diagonals. So these pieces right here are my crossbars. And how many of them are there? Well, there's 2 crossbars here. 2 of them here. We've got 2 more crossbars and another set of crossbars. So that makes 2 times 4, which is 8 total crossbars. It says, label the points on the top view where the ends of the crossbars are attached to the legs, A, B, C, and D. Begin at the bottom left and go clockwise. So bottom left would be here. And we're going to go clockwise. So that means we're going to rotate this way. So we go B, C, D. So I'm just going to put C picture. Use one color to show the sides of the square and another color to show the crossbar AC. What 2 figures are formed by 2 sides of the square and 1 diagonal? So I'm going to highlight. It says use one color to show the sides of the square and another color to show the crossbar. So these are my sides, right? So I'm going to highlight that yellow. And it wants me to also talk about crossbar AC. That would be here. So I'm going to highlight that green. And it says what 2 figures are formed by 2 sides of the square and the 1 diagonal. So what shape is this right here? And what shape is this right here? We have 2 right triangles. Let's take a look at the next set of questions. It says members of the Windy Hill Science Club are building kites to explore aerodynamic forces. Club members will provide paper, plastic, and lightweight cloth for the covering of their kite. The club will provide the ballast wood for the frames. Math tip. Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The Science Club advisor has created the chart below to help determine how much ballast wood he needs to buy. For each kite, calculate the exact length of one crossbar that will be needed to stabilize the kite. Use your drawing from item 1C as a guide for the rectangular base of these box kites. It says A's kite is a 1 by 1. So that means that this length right here, like AB would be 1 and BC is 1. And I want to know this measurement right here, AC. Well, it tells me that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I'm going to do this kind of off to the side here. We would have 1 squared plus 1 squared equals C squared. Well, that's going to be 1 plus 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. Well, what is the square root of 2? Is there a whole number there? No. So our exact answer would be square root of 2. All right, now our shape has gone 2 by 2. So we would do the same steps over. We're given our legs, so that would be 2 squared plus 2 squared equals C squared. I'm looking for C, so that's going to be 4 plus 4 equals C squared. 4 plus 4 is 8. Then we're going to do the square root of 8 equals C. Let's take a look at C. We would have 3 and 3, so that would be 9 and 9. And 9 plus 9 is 18, and we would still have to do the square root of that. Let's talk about D over here. D, we would have 1 squared plus 2 squared equals C squared. That's 1 plus 4. That would be 5. So the square root of 5. Take a look at E. 2 squared is 4. 4 squared is 16. And 16 plus 4 is 20. And then we do the square root. 3 squared is 9. 6 squared is 36. Those added together would give me the square root of 45. How much wood would you recommend buying for the crossbars of kite A? And explain your reasoning. Now, each crossbar is the square root of 2, right? And how many crossbars do we have? 8 of them. So, this would be 8 square root of 2 because there are 8 crossbars and each measure the square root of 2. On to the next set of questions.